Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is a First Defense weather alert.
It's 12:02. I'm Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter live in the First Defense Weather Center, and we want to let you know that News Now at noon starts now, and the news is weather, as you can obviously tell here. This is live First Defense Doppler radar, and we're already seeing the signs of that lake effect snow setting up, as we told you this morning at 9 o'clock when we did our update at 9, that the widespread snow was moving out. Now it's turning into lake effect. We're seeing the pockets of lake effect snow already starting to organize here, and if we can put this in a time lapse over the past 5 hours, you'll see how essentially the widespread snow that was associated with our storm system has tapered off, and then that's the widespread snow moving out. But then watch the pockets of lake effect set right up right across the southern tier, and this is going to continue through the day today. It is pockets of moderate to even at times heavy lake effect snow that is going to be setting up across the area today, and then it will last tonight going all the way through Friday and the early part of the weekend. Let's hop to Lynx 1 and I'll show you the Sky Vision camera downtown. And this is the camera that's on top of the Doubletree Hotel. You can see the snow falling, and the camera's been bouncing a little bit in the wind with that northwest wind of 16. But the actual wind gusts are even higher than that. This is becoming a problem. And again, as we told you, the wind gusts will become a big problem as we go throughout the day, especially tonight and then going into tomorrow. So the blizzard warning stays in effect for the entire southern tier, all the counties that are shaded in this red color. That is the blizzard warning. That goes until 4 p.m. tomorrow. The warning for essentially Erie and Crawford County, that goes until 6 p.m. on Saturday. And the reason the blizzard warning was issued, there was a little discrepancy on why this was issued. It was issued by the Weather Service simply because of the heavy snow potential and the gusty winds. When you have winds gusting 40, 50, maybe even 60 miles an hour, that's going to cause near whiteout, I would say complete whiteout conditions and hazardous travel. What you saw this morning, if you head to work or something this morning, it was a rough commute, and that's what you're going to get this afternoon and tonight, maybe even a little bit worse than what we had this morning. So travel is going to become very difficult with the blowing snow. That's why the blizzard warning was issued. It's not so much snowfall, although snowfall will be significant. It's mainly the wind potential blowing the snow around and essentially making travel hazardous. So in terms of the impacts, nothing has changed on this since our update at 9. It's mainly wind, snowfall. Those are the two main issues. The wind chill is also a problem. Temperatures down into the lower 20s at best today, with a healthy and robust northwest wind. That's going to bring wind chill factors maybe single digits throughout the afternoon, and travel, as I just told you, is going to be hazardous through the day here. So these are the current wind gust numbers. Actually, these are the numbers from last hour. These have not updated yet, but the wind gust in Mayville was 4 miles an hour. I don't buy that. I think the sensor is broken. But 24 was the wind gust in Jamestown, 23 Dunkirk, 22 Erie, 34 Warren, and how about 43 up in Buffalo? So the winds are going to get stronger from here. We'll show it to you here on Future Scan. This is the future wind gusts here. So by 5 o'clock, wind gusts will range 40, maybe 50 miles an hour in spots. And quite frankly, I think this model might underplay some of the wind speeds. I wouldn't be shocked if some spots, mainly near the Lake Erie shoreline and maybe right along the highest hills, may actually top 50 mile an hour wind gusts, but these are winds strong enough to produce whiteouts, near whiteout conditions, and hazardous travel. As we head to tomorrow morning, the winds will subside somewhat. The lake snow does weaken a little bit tomorrow, but it will regenerate again going into the afternoon hours and then going into Saturday. But the strongest winds will end tomorrow. So that's why the blizzard warning will end at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So hour by hour through the day, temperatures 21, 20 at best, but add in a very robust northwest wind, as I just told you. It's going to feel a lot colder than this, blowing a lot of the snow around. We'll time out the rest of the snow on Future Scan, and we'll show you the 7-day forecast in just a little bit right now as News Now at noon resumes right now. Justin, back to you.
All right, Dakota, thank you so much for your coverage. And thank you, everyone, for joining us here for WNY News Now at noon. And as Dakota mentioned, the big story of the day is this blizzard, with the conditions expected to get a lot worse as we head throughout the afternoon. Chautauqua County's Executive P.J. Wendell is reminding residents to use caution while traveling across the area. Here's some video our crew shot earlier today on I-86 near the Cattaraugus County-Chautauqua County line. Drivers are being asked to postpone or cancel any non-essential trips now if travel conditions are hazardous on the roadway. And they're also asked to obey all travel bans. The executive also asked residents to keep parked vehicles off the roads and shoulders so that crews can properly clear the snow.
Well, I was informed that this afternoon is supposed to pick back up with intensity in between tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be the worst of the 2 days, but we haven't issued any travel advisories or bans from the county. So we're just asking everybody to exercise caution as they're traveling about the county.
Well, Wendell says right now he's staying in constant contact with officials on the roads, and if necessary, he could place travel restrictions in the future.
I can't really begin to say that now. I'm in close contact with John, our emergency services director, Bentley, our DPF director, and Jim Quattrone, and we're going to be in constant contact with one another. If any developments take place, we'll get that information. Before we make those decisions, we want to make sure that we're in coordination, and unity of effort is the flag I'm flying my administration, so we're going to continue that unity. When it comes to decisions, we'll reach out to all the plows, emergency services, the sheriff, and myself, and weather services. We'll make a very good decision on the information we have.
Now, Wendell says residents should call the sheriff's office or other law enforcement agencies to notify them if their vehicle breaks down on the side of the road, and be sure to keep your gas tank at least halfway full in order to prevent fuel lines from freezing over. And meanwhile, in addition to the dozens of schools that are closed today, several CARTS routes will not be running due to the winter weather. Routes 2 and 9 that operate in Sherman and Clymer have been canceled. Additionally, Route 6 between Dunkirk and Mayville, Route 7 between Jamestown and Mayville, and Route 8 between Jamestown and Dunkirk will not run this afternoon. Also, Route 12 and Route 16 and Route 19 will have no service tonight. Officials say CARTS will be operating in somewhat of a limited capacity due to the weather. Now, if a ride is not absolutely necessary, they ask that passengers call the CARTS office to cancel their ride. And New York State's Thruway Authority has banned empty tractor trailers from parts of Interstate 90 due to high winds. The Thruway Authority says the ban will go from the Lackawanna toll barrier to the Pennsylvania state line. Travel could also be very difficult due to areas of blowing snow that will likely produce zero visibility out there on the roads. And speaking of out there on the road, Chautauqua Weather Today's Sean Sweatman was out early this morning checking in on area road conditions. I spoke to him over the phone just a little while ago.
I've covered from Faulkner to Cassadaga to Stockton to Mayville, Chautauqua. Then I went down to Finley Lake, then to Kennedy.
What have highway conditions looked like out on the roadway? How's 86?
Highway conditions on 86 weren't bad. A few semis, but not very many. State roads were probably the best condition.
Certainly, I'd imagine some of the more rural areas probably could see some snow packed in on the roadways. Do you plan on venturing out later on today?
Yeah, I plan on going back out this afternoon, going up along Lake Erie, checking that out. I'll be putting my mobile weather unit on top of the roof so I can get an accurate wind speed.
How does that device specifically work, especially when you're moving along the roadway?
Well, what it does, it calculates my speed and adds the wind onto it. So if I'm doing 40 miles an hour and the wind's 20, it'll register at 60 miles an hour.
Now, I imagine this data is very important for a number of reasons, including forecasting. Do you send that along to officials?
Now, what I'll do is I'll collect the data and send it to the National Weather Service. I'll do periodic snow measurements throughout the county and send the National Weather Service my report.
Certainly great work out there, Sean. Thanks so much for joining us today on the phone, and stay safe as you head throughout the afternoon. Now, whenever Sean is out on the road, you can watch him live on Chautauqua Weather Today's Facebook page. Well, hopefully everyone is having a good Thursday out there nevertheless. Maybe you're home from work, kids home from school more than likely. Thanks for being here with us on WNY News Now. Good afternoon to Renee. Hopefully you're doing well. Hello to David. Hello to Raymond. He says everybody stay safe out there. Hello to Brenda. Hello to Joseph as well. Joe says, it seems like the lake effect is missing out on Jamestown so far. And I think you'd be about right, Joe. If we can take a live look at that DoubleTree camera over downtown Jamestown that Dakota showed a little bit earlier in the broadcast, definitely shaking out there, as he likes to call it, shaking and baking, I believe. And a little bit of snowflakes, but nothing too heavy. Dakota will be back in just a little bit with more on what we can expect coming up with a full forecast in just a bit. But coming up next here, we have a lot more local news to tell you about. Besides this weather, hear how officials are continuing to respond to the coronavirus. But first, a City of Jamestown doer are facing charges after allegedly stealing $20,000 in technology. That's right, $20,000. You don't want to miss this story. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back. Some other local headlines we're following. 2 people are facing charges in connection with a Tuesday evening burglary at Digital here in downtown Jamestown. Jamestown police say 29-year-old Brian Navarro and 24-year-old Anthony Lackner allegedly stole more than $20,000 in computers and accessories. Police say the duo was captured on surveillance video entering then exiting the business with the electronics. Officers say Navarro was located walking with a stolen laptop on North Main Street. Lackner was arrested at an address on Franklin Street. Investigators believe there are still multiple laptop computers missing with brand names like System 76, MSI, and Eurocon. Anyone who may have come into possession of these laptops are asked to contact Jamestown Police to have it turned in without prosecution. Those later found in possession of these items will likely be charged in addition to Navarro and Lackner. Well, 2 town of Randolph residents were charged for allegedly endangering the welfare of a child following a welfare check on Church Street in Randolph yesterday. The Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office says 27-year-old Alexandria Rayner and 54-year-old Carrie Rayner allegedly left an 8-year-old unattended in a residence for an undisclosed amount of time. Deputies did not specify if the child was taken from that home or if Child Protective Services are now involved. Both were issued appearance tickets and are scheduled to appear in the town of Randolph court at a later date. Well, there are now at least 60 confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States, and health experts say that the number will likely keep rising, as well as around the globe. John Lawrence has the latest on where the infection is at.
The U.S. may have its first community-spread coronavirus case. That means the illness could be moving through a community and the source of the infection is unknown. In this case, health officials say the patient tested positive despite not having relevant travel history or exposure to another known patient. The UC Davis Medical Center says the patient, a California resident, is under airborne and strict contact precautions.
This is not a time for partisanship. Pathogens do not respect party lines, and it's very important for all of us to come together and to work together to make sure that we're prepared.
On Wednesday, President Trump announced Vice President Pence would lead the U.S. government's fight against the disease.
We will continue to bring the full resources of the federal government in coordination with our state and local partners.
And the CDC says it's considering expanding health screenings at airports.
Luckily, most of the people, 8 out of 10 people who get this infection, are going to have no or minimal symptoms.
Those symptoms are fever, cough, and shortness of breath. As for how to try to protect yourself,
washing your hands for 20 seconds. Most people do it less than 5 to 10, including not touching your face, not touching your eyes if you haven't washed your hands recently.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
All right, John, thank you. There are now more than 80,000 cases across the globe, and they're in every continent except Antarctica. The death toll has passed 2,700, with most of the fatalities occurring in China. Well, reality shows about relationships aren't just for us whippersnappers. ABC is now casting senior citizens who are ready for romance. It's from the producers of The Bachelor. The casting call says they're looking for men and women in their golden years. Applicants have to be legal U.S. residents, active, outgoing, and single. More information is posted on the network's website. Well, hey, you could find love at any stage in your life, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us here on WNY News Now. We appreciate having you with us this afternoon. Gotta say hello to Marcus. Hopefully you're doing well. Good afternoon to Lori. Good afternoon to Sam. Joanna chimes in. She says, thanks for your great coverage on our area. We appreciate that, Joanna, a lot. And good afternoon to Wanda rather. She says, Mayville winds are a lot stronger than 4 miles per hour. Certainly, yes. And it looks like Dakota Hunter, that was most likely indeed an error on the part of technology there from your live wind gathering. But nevertheless, as we head throughout the rest of this afternoon, it looks like things are probably going to get a lot more dicey than they are, at least right now here in Jamestown.
Yeah, things are going to be changing, and not for the better as we go throughout the day, and especially going into tomorrow. So wanted to show this picture that came in this morning of the snow in Jamestown. Thanks to Walt for sending this in to us this morning. And it's going to look a whole lot different than this come tomorrow. If we can, let's hop to links number 2, which has our live radar on it. And you can see this is over the past 5 hours. The widespread snow associated with our storm system has tapered off, but look at what's following right behind it. These pockets of lake effect snow. And as we've been telling you all day and especially all week long, that these pockets of snow, they don't look really all that organized now, but there is the chance these things will have high snowfall rates within them. And of course, with the winds blowing it around, that's not helping matters any either. Let's go back to links 1 and I'll show you the snowfall totals that we've had over the past 24 hours. And let me back up one more. That's what happens when you hit the button one too many times. But there we go. This is over the past 24 hours. So Corey 7 inches, Cattaraugus 7 inches, Gowanda 5.3, Jamestown 4.8, Harbor Creek also the same at 4.8, and Perrysburg at 4.6. So this is from just this morning alone and last night. We're going to add more to this as we go throughout the day and tonight. Right now, 19 in town, 22 in Mayville. Wanted to show you something really cool. We have the ability now to plot what's called the New York State Mesonet, which is basically a network of all these local weather observations. They update every 5 minutes, and these towns right here that have the orange number, that is a New York State Mesonet site. So we now have the ability to plot these. So 20 in Brant right now, 29 in Fredonia, 22 Clymer, 19 in Randolph, 29 in Delvin, 18 over in Olean, and at the Erie Airport, 24 degrees. So you'll be hearing a lot more about the New York State Mesonet as we go throughout time. All right, so the next big thing is obviously this blizzard warning. It stays in place until 4 p.m. tomorrow for all of the southern tier. Everybody, if you're watching me right now, and you live in the southern tier, Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, you're under a blizzard warning until 4 p.m. tomorrow. The lake effect snow warning for Erie and Crawford County continues until 6 p.m. on Saturday. The Weather Service and State College has announced they are reissuing the purple winter weather advisory that was in place for Warren County is being reissued, and that should be coming pretty soon. So let's take you through future scan here. You can see the widespread snow tapering off, then turning to pockets of lake effect. Now, watch what happens as we go into tomorrow. Notice how the lake effect kind of breaks apart a little bit. So the bands will not be as strong tomorrow, but the winds will still be strong, whipping this around. And notice how it redevelops again going Friday night, going into Saturday. So additional snowfall accumulations on top of what we already have. This dark pink strip right in here, 8 to 12 inches across the highest hills of Chautauqua County going into the highest hills of Cattaraugus County. The other purple strip surrounding it's about 7 to 10 inches, and 5 to 8 inches down here once you work down toward Edinburgh, and 5 to 8 inches across Warren and across Warren County and McKean County. Now, as we often tell you, focus on the lowest number, not the highest number. There is potential that these numbers could verify at least the highest number, but always focus on that lower number. So up on the hills, as often is the case with lake effect, you're likely going to get more of this, maybe another foot or more, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these totals, maybe on the highest hills, could be actually underdone by a little bit. It's definitely a possibility. All right, the future's coming up on the screen. We just stay in this blizzard-like condition all the way through the week. Temperatures down into the 20s. Sunday, we get a little bit better, though. A few scattered lake flakes around 30. Snow showers on Monday. Then we're back to spring again Tuesday and Wednesday. What is up with this winter? But we go from this all the way back to a springtime feel by this time next week. Justin and Norm?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Norm joins us at the desk now with a look at what's next in sports.
Yes, Justin. Up next, the Buffalo Sabres came up short on the road on Wednesday night. That and more when WNY News Now returns.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Thursday, sports fans. We are nearing the end of another work week. Welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. On Friday, the Section 6 Class AA girls basketball quarterfinal playoff games will be played. With all the games at 7 o'clock, 4 games will be played for those quarterfinals. One of the games will be the 8th-seeded Lancaster Legends taking on the Williamsville North Spartans, who are the top seed. Another one of the games will be the number 4 seed Frontier Falcons hosting the Clarence Red Devils, who are the 5th seed. The two other games will be the 6th-seeded Jamestown Red Raiders on the road versus the 3rd-seeded Lockport Lions and the number 2 Orchard Park Quakers hosting the 7th-seeded Niagara Falls Wolverines. On Wednesday night, the Buffalo Sabres came up short out west against the Colorado Avalanche, losing 3-2. Zemgus Girgensons and Curtis Lazar each scored a goal for the Sabres. Carter Hutton saved 31 out of 34 shots between the pipes. On Colorado's end, JT Compher scored the goal which would give them the victory. Martin Kaut and Gabriel Landeskog each also scored a goal. Avalanche goaltender Pavel Francouz saved 31 out of 33 shots faced. Buffalo will return to action Friday night at 10 o'clock, in which they will remain in the West to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. This afternoon at 1:05, the New York Yankees will continue spring training as they will take on the Tampa Bay Rays. New York is coming off an 8-2 win in 5 innings over the Washington Nationals on Wednesday, evening their record to 2-2. On the opposing end, Tampa will look to shake off a 10-8 loss in the hands of the Minnesota Twins Wednesday. J.A. Happ will be on the starting mound for the Yanks against Tampa's Aaron Sluggers. That's it for sports today. Back to Justin and Dakota.
All right, Norm, thank you very much. Well, the number of polar bears are declining around the world, and that's why conservationists want them to be the focus of our day today on National Polar Bear Day. Each year on February 27th, the massive animals are celebrated. And get this, they can weigh in at 1,400 pounds, which also helps them stay warm in colder climates. Of course, their trick, white coats, help them with that. Did you know that polar bears have webbed front paws as well to help them swim? Pretty cool. Environmentalists are concerned, though, Dakota, that their habitats could be disappearing due to warmer temperatures around the globe, and that could be shrinking the number of them. But certainly, a lot of institutions like zoos and things like that really try to help combat that by saying, okay, we're going to have an X number of polar bears.
A lot of people hate zoos, and I can understand why some people don't like zoos because it's kind of like, keeping wild animals in cages in captivity, and I understand there's a whole bunch of stuff around it, but I don't know. I mean, when you really look at zoos, a lot of the zoos are really trying to help save animals.
Yeah.
Take, for example, what was the, it's not really a zoo, but it was the aquarium that was the basis for, what was the movie? Dolphin Tale. It's like, you've never seen Dolphin Tale?
I've never seen Dolphin Tale. I've seen Finding Dory.
Tale.
I thought you were going to say Finding Dory, and you're going to talk
Dolphin
about
Tale.
that one. I don't know if that's a real aquarium or not.
It was, what was the dolphin's name? Winter. Had its tail, I think, bitten off or something, so they created like a pro-aesthetic tail.
And then they helped him get introduced back into the wild? No. He lived at this aquarium.
Yes.
Oh.
And so, I mean, it's like, something like that. It's like, organizations like that who actually try to help animals. That's great.
Well,
and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it is a touchy subject when you get on like zoos and aquariums, but then again, you have to kind of look at the good that they're trying to do at the same time.
And the animals aren't necessarily being treated badly. I was watching over this past weekend, the Bronx Zoo has a show on Animal Planet where they talk about the different programs they do. And they really try to not just help animals in the zoo, but animals around the zoo. If there's like an injured bird, people will bring it in and their veterinarian staff will just help them.
Right.
Because why not? That's what they do. And they worked with the DEC on a project and things like that. So it's really interesting to see kind of where that goes. And then the other thing they were talking about too with having animals in like a captivity type of situation is that they really do try to help with rehabilitation and keeping species alive, which in this case with polar bears and the changing world, we don't know the future of them. So it's incredible to see that happening around the area and around the region. There's no Jamestown Zoo necessarily. I guess Erie or Buffalo would be the closest.
I think
zoo.
Erie is if you want to be in terms of close, I think Erie's a little bit closer.
86 makes it a little more accessible. Maybe not today is a good day to travel to Erie. Hopefully.
Today's a good day to just stay home under the covers.
Yeah, certainly is. Got to say hello to Cindy. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks so much for being here. Hello to Gerald as well. And Sean, good afternoon to you. And really, Dakota, you're the man of the hour today. I mean, you were in here super early this morning. Mm-hmm. You were up late last night. I saw you posting stuff. So we got to give it to Dakota Hunter because you do such an amazing job.
I mean, it's like what I said this morning. I am running on limited sleep today, so
we couldn't tell.
My mouth is moving, but my brain is almost like totally shut down because I haven't slept properly. I mean, I haven't slept properly since 2002, I don't think.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, so through the day and tomorrow, so blizzard-like conditions will continue with heavy lake effect snow and wind gusts 40, 50 miles an hour. The lake snow calms down somewhat for tomorrow, but it regenerates again going into Friday and Saturday. We stay in the freezer through the weekend, and by next week, Jay, we're back up into the 50s by this time next week. I hope you haven't gotten whiplash by this weather because this is nuts.
Yeah.
It's up, down, snow, rain.
It is crazy. And crazy to see that Monday, 43 degrees.
Yeah. And by Tuesday, we're back up to 51.
Right.
I mean, what is this?
I mean, really, so the snow that we're going to probably get with this storm more than likely is going to turn to ice and then melt.
We'll have some melting, but I don't think the whole snowpack will melt, but we'll see.
All right. Well, Dakota, thank you very much.
Welcome.
That's going to do it for us today. Of course, we remind you, we'll be here 24/7 tracking the storm developments. The best way to stay in touch is by downloading our mobile app. It's free in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Just simply search WNY News Now. We leave you with a live look over the H News Now cam, and the snow is a-falling. Get ready for it, folks. We'll be back here tomorrow at noon. See you then.